And maybe we can get to link up and talk more business, and also of what impact does it have on the economy of Uganda, because we all understand how business is very, 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 very influential. All right, now let's kickstart off into our story analysis. As the Ministry of Kampala and the Kampala and Metropolitan Affairs has partnered with the Ingazi Group of companies and in an attempt of aiming at finding opportunities for youth outside Uganda. Let's actually put this into proper context. When these companies started coming out, I remember I was in primary, and all these companies, preferably the agencies, most of them terming themselves of the different areas where they go to, most probably in the Middle East. And you could see having consultants, recruitment agencies, but a wholesome, if you have to put it in a holistic joint venture, it is a recruitment agency. And these recruitment agencies are agencies that actually give Ugandans platforms to go and work abroad. You are actually going to travel on a work permit or on a work visa. Mainly, these particular work permits are for 2 years. Most probably for those that have actually been traveling to the Middle East countries. And a 2-year contract, they normally sign 2-year contracts. Once they're expired, they can actually come back to Uganda, visit their parents, and if they want to renew, they still go out. And then we've also had some agencies that can actually link you up to these countries, and you work for as far as you want, or you can actually work for more time that you desire, depending on the contracts that you want to, and depending on the time frame that you have. Because some people will definitely go out and say, you know what, let me go to Dubai, maybe become a barista. I've seen a number of baristas all across social media who have actually been going through different agencies and through different schools that make them, that actually give them the working visas and permits to go and work from abroad, let me say in Dubai. And it has actually been helpful to them as baristas. Now, the biggest number of unemployment that the youth and this has created insecurity in the different communities, as ghetto youth have got spoiled and others becoming drug addicts. And if at all someone doesn't have a platform to go abroad in the Middle East, and a number of things that happen in the Middle East include human trafficking. Not in the Middle East, but companies in Africa have actually been noted to be human trafficking companies that actually use these young people and take them illegally without the law, without notifying those in the law. That is why you would find out that some of them actually taken, someone actually promises you a job as a house cleaner, and when you reach Dubai, you become a prostitute. I had to bring that in. And some of the cases that have actually been prevailing is that some people are actually having warehouses in Uganda where they take these people as drug carriers in the different countries as drug dealers. Someone promises you a job as a security man or as a driver in the Middle East. You reach there, the state of your job actually changes, and the nature of the job that was actually described is quite different, and you're now dealing in drugs. And once you reach there and you're a drug dealer, all the security forces start tracking you down. And then the government of Uganda knows nothing about it. Reason being, you did not pass through the Ministry of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, or you did not pass through the different ministries that would see you go and they monitor you. So these particular agencies are most probably owned by individuals in Uganda, which has actually caused problems for the Ugandans abroad. And these Ugandans will always come out and cry to the government. I'm in houses, they've actually locked me up, I'm in prison. We've actually had cases where even our celebrities have actually been charged with drug abuse, that is with drug-related cases, whereby someone is actually at the airport being arrested for carrying cocaine or carrying different, let me say cocaine, and carrying opium and things like that. Something that is a very huge crime if you're to travel with countries, let's say China, talk about Asian countries, and even other countries abroad, once they get you with drugs, believe me, it's a serious case that you can never go out, because some of them can actually be, if you look at human trafficking and drug abuse, one of those cases that once you're caught and found guilty, a life sentence is definitely there for you, or you can actually receive a sentence that is what 30 to 50 years, which is actually similar to life sentence. I mean, if someone actually takes you abroad and you get in prison for 5 to 10 years, and that may be a short time frame, but imagine someone giving you a sentence of 30 to 50 years. I mean, it is just more of a life sentence in that aspect. And of course, if you have to look at this particular initiative, as according to the Minister of Kampala partnering with the Ngazi Group, they're actually using it as an opportunity that every Ugandan that goes to the Middle East, and the biggest country that has actually been highlighted here is Saudi Arabia, that Ugandans will actually receive over 5,000 job opportunities for them to go and travel and work abroad. And in this way, I think for the Ugandan people, it is a good way to see that we're going to be following up. And with the Ngazi, I think if you look at this, Mr. Ali Saleh revealed that they are planning for over 5,000 youth for the start to help them get startups. This is Mr. Saleh, who is the CEO in Ngazi Group of Companies, which is also a recruitment agency in Uganda that is actually there to see that they take Ugandans abroad or Africans abroad to have opportunities to actually work out in the different countries in the Middle East more so, because those are the biggest countries that are actually looking for job seekers, because they have different areas. These are countries where these people have money. If you're to look at, if you're a football fan, you would know that once a football club is bought by someone from the Middle East or from an oil-rich country, there is money attached to it. I was mentioning here that in Dubai, you would understand that during that time, most of the people there, most of the well-off people are at home, sleeping, resting, trying to think of how they're going to spend the night. And once it is night time, it is merrymaking, party time, all night. For the people who have actually traveled to Dubai, you'll agree with me that during that time, it is nighttime in Dubai may be better than daytime in Dubai. Why? Because they have a lot of beautiful scenery. Once you go there, not only to tour, but also to actually see that. And to actually see that, you see the beautiful tourist sites in Dubai. And this actually brings me to the scenario whereby the Uganda Airlines is actually going to be launching a direct flight from Uganda to Dubai with effect from this particular month of October. So, I mean, you can see which opportunities are there for the Ugandans. Imagine traveling as far as from Uganda direct to Dubai without going through Ethiopia or any other destination. That will be easier for the business entities and the business owners out there, or even for anyone who wants to travel abroad, who wants to travel to Dubai and see the beautiful scenery in abroad. Nga gwe chikuluma nti oyagala linnya ku nnyonyi ogendeko Dubai, olabe ku Burj Khalifa, olabe ku the islands, the beautiful islands, the Palm Island in Dubai. So clearly, ebintu bino ebiri Dubai, as the Uganda Airlines is actually launching that particular segment, more of that story is actually going to is actually coming up. And if you're still with us with Smart24 TV, Fred Makubia or Yugi Tukole will give you more of the highlights from that particular launch of the Uganda Airlines, of the direct flights from Uganda down to Dubai. Remember, Uganda Airlines will actually be launching a number of flights, rather a number of direct routes from Uganda to different destinations, and we'll definitely be giving you that particular one. Now, back to our story analysis here. In a fight against corruption, while addressing the media in Kampala, the ministers said that 5,000 job opportunities from Saudi Arabia have been created for the sustainable development of the youth in Uganda, with a number of them being unemployed. And in a situation of COVID, I mean, it will be helpful to that. Now that most of them are looking for ways of actually getting money. And if you are out there and you've not been earning a lot of money, and there's a job for you in Saudi Arabia, and these jobs actually range from 800,000 maybe to 1.5 and some others maybe get 2 million monthly in Ugandan currency. And at the end of the day, if you're in Dubai and you go out and maybe you're earning 1 million, so by the time a 2-year contract ends, you've earned 24 million Ugandan shillings. With the 24 million Ugandan shillings, if your dream is to actually build a house, you can come back and buy a plot of land, which is maybe 5 million to 7 million, and in different areas. Or you set up a business, and you can go back and you invest more in constructing your house. By the time you go back for maybe another 2 years, by the 4 years you've spent in Saudi Arabia, you come back by completing your house and following up on your business. That would be a good way to see and facilitate to see the smooth running of your life. By the next time of your career, it would be a very good one. That is why you would see that these 5,000 job opportunities, out of the 5,000 Ugandans, maybe 2,000 of them can actually be impacted. Lives can actually be impacted, according to the ministers here. That is according to the Ministry of Metropolitan Affairs in Kampala here, in the Kampala and Metropolitan Affairs. But the biggest worry that most Ugandans have every time they're traveling abroad is safety. Safety and their security, as well as their human rights. Remember, you are in a foreign country where you know nobody. The only people you're going to have in contact with are maybe some Ugandans you'll find there. The agency that actually recruits you is based in Uganda, and the only way you're going to communicate to them maybe when they're trying to check on you, when they go and visit you after maybe 1 year or after 6 months to see how are you faring in your new job or at your new place. And the other way you're going to communicate is maybe when you're communicating to your family through social media or through a phone call or two, and you try to see what is happening in Uganda and what is also, and you try to actually carry out relations. But what I've also noticed that a few of the Ugandans who actually go out there to work will tell you of, they will actually be giving you sad stories. Most of them telling you that the recruitment agency we used gave us false promises. And you reach there, they've promised you 2 million, you start earning 1 million. They promise you to be a driver, you reach there and you're not driving. You become a cleaner in a supermarket and you face a number of challenges. That is why most people have actually thought it wise that if you are, I've actually thought it wise to see that if you are working for an independent company and you have someone who's actually already working abroad, you can use that as an avenue for you to actually transport yourself, work on your working visa or your working permit, go to a Middle East country, settle down, try to work, and you earn for your own self. You pay your own rent, you work with your fellows, and these are the same people who are actually working in shifts. You would see the baristas who are there. We also have some cleaners who are actually working in shifts. But the sleeping conditions in Dubai are still, not only in Dubai, in Qatar, UAE, Middle East countries of Saudi Arabia, Oman. The biggest issue or the biggest challenge there is the sleeping conditions where these people are actually sleeping. Most of them have issues in regards to that they are actually not sleeping in a good, I would say, the atmosphere is not welcoming for where they're actually sleeping under. Because if you could see some people, you live in a country where you're actually sleeping under a very nice bed on a 6-inch, 6x6 mattress, and then you actually reach, and then you actually go out there and do what? And have issues in sleeping, because the area you're actually sleeping in is not helpful to you, or it does not actually suit the kind of job that you actually assigned to. You have to wake up very early in the morning, you have no mattress, you're sleeping on the floor, and then your boss expects you to deliver within no time. And the food that you're actually getting is not the same as the food as your boss is actually eating. A number of things that are expected. That is a number of those that are expected. That is what we need the ministry to actually look at before saying we are going to ensure the safety of these people. But what is the working environment? That is the biggest issue. If the working environment is safe, I mean, everyone would want to go out and work. If the money that we've actually been promised is the money that we're going to receive, then we are safe to go and work. Because why some people quit their jobs is because the working environment may never be favorable for them. And then you will say, no, I cannot work from this place because the working environment is not good for my mental health. It is actually creating depression for me. It is actually not giving me the vigor to actually work. So that is why you would see that the ministry should actually look into it and say, yes, we've actually created an opportunity for these Ugandans to actually travel and go and work. But the question is, once they have actually traveled and left for work, how are they going to benefit? How are we actually going to help them out to see that we follow up on where they have medical facilities? Are they okay? Where do they sleep? Let's look at where they're actually laying on board. Because if you look at the situation now, for instance, and say, the maids in Uganda are roughly receiving 60,000 to 100,000. That is if at all you've actually received a lot of money. Is when you receive 100,000 monthly. If you're a maid, okay, there is you're sleeping under the same roof, you're eating the same food. But if you see the maids that are working from the Middle East, they would receive roughly from 600,000 to 800,000 or 1 million, depending on the recruitment agencies and what money you're going to receive from a certain boss. But the bigger challenge is, however, the safety of these particular Ugandans and also the working environment. That is very key. Let's have a look at this story where the Ministry of Kampala and Metropolitan Affairs partnered with the Ngazi Group of companies in an attempt of aiming at finding opportunities for the youth outside Uganda. Let's take a look at this report. The biggest number of unemployment are the youth, and this has created insecurity in different communities. Ghetto youth have got spoiled and others becoming drug addicts. In a fight against unemployment, while addressing the media in Kampala, the minister said that 5,000 job opportunities from Saudi Arabia have been created for their sustainable development.
Minister of Gender does not only take these uneducated girls to Saudi Arabia, but there are other options. Girls are going everywhere depending on how educated you are. So, but this time we're taking these ones, desperate children who have nowhere to go. I think it's better we take them and they work, they come back with capital, then they invest in Kampala or in Uganda. Because as I've told you, Kampala we have no gardens. We have nothing apart from border, going for taxis, the boys, going for house girls. Instead of giving 100,000 here, you can go to Saudi Arabia and earn at least 1 million or 900,000. So I think they have, someone comes out with 20 million. With that money, if it is invested in Uganda, if it is invested in Kampala, you can easily do something better than being a house girl in Uganda, in a house where they are giving, some are still getting 50,000. We know people who are still giving these girls 50,000. Because they are always desperate, some of these girls are dropouts from schools. I think it's better we reorganize them and take them to Saudi Arabia, take them to Dubai, take them anywhere. They come back and do something bigger than staying here in Kampala. And
Ali Saleh, the CEO in Ngazi Group of Companies, the external recruitment agency, said that Saudi Arabia put measures on the safety of people who are working there, and they will have assuring of freedom over there.
أو صاحب العمل أو العامل المنزلية، وهناك لجان عمالية تقوم بمتابعة أي شكوى سواء طريق تقديم الأونلاين. ولا أعتقد هناك في مشاكل أو يستطيع أحد يثبت يقول أنه لدينا مشكلة عاملة موجودة ولم يتم حلها، لأنه وزارة الموارد عندنا البشرية حريصة كل الحرص على متابعة وحل أي مشكلة عالقة لأي عامل أو عاملة من أي جنسية.
agamba nti ensonga y'abaana abanyigirizibwa mu ggwanga erya Saudi Arabia, agamba nti gavumenti yaabwe etaddewo amakubo gonna ageetaagisa okulaba nti eddembe ly'omwana avudde ali Saudi Arabia kabeere nti ava Uganda oba mu nsi enjala yonna terityoboolwa. Ng'era mu ekyo agamba bw'obanga otunuulidde emyaka ebiri egiyise, ebintu bingi ebituukiddwako mu minisitule yaabwe, minisitule ya Labour eyaabwe e Saudi Arabia, ebintu bingi ebituukiddwako okulaba nti bongera okulaba nti batereeza n'okulaba nti balwanira eddembe ly'abaana. Agamba nti mu ebyo mulimu okubanga mukana akadde bateekawo sisitemu eyamusaanidde olwokuba nti buli mwana ava e Uganda wano oba mu nsi yonna gy'aba avuddemu agenda Saudi Arabia waliwo sisitemu eyo nga sisitemu eyo ebeerako abantu bana abo kuliko kampuni egenda omulisiving e Saudi Arabia, waliwo kampuni egenda okumujja wano okumutwala eri omwana ye nga ye n'omusawudi agenda okumukozesa eri, so abantu bana baserenga ku ndagaano eyo.
We have in the past had issues of the youth getting stuck in the outside countries and others were defrauded their money. In this case, therefore, the ministry has put up measures of safety for the youth abroad.
We have in the past had issues of our youths either getting stuck in and outside the country or being defrauded before they go. This time around, we are putting in place measures that will ensure safety not only of our youth while abroad, but even that of their money. We have in this regard made arrangements that my colleagues in the Ministry of Labour, together with me, will visit Riyadh and be hosted by our friend Mr. Ali to do an on-spot inspection of where our youths will be going. I want to look at this as an opportunity for our youths to get employment that they are sure to benefit from, and we shall ensure that this time around the safety of our youths is ensured.
In many times, girls who've been going to the Middle East, some have been smuggled from Kenya, which has endangered their lives. The government is taking steps to ensure their safety. And all right, that is the same situation of the story, depending on the level of the Ugandans that are working abroad and what is there to say in regards to their safety and also, like I said, the working environment. Is it safer for them? We shall actually have an interview as well later on the show, talking more about the same issue of this particular integration where the Ministry of Kampala, that is the Ministry of Kampala Metropolitan Affairs, has actually looked at, has actually partnered with the CEO of Ingazi Group, that is Mr. Ali Saleh, to see that they create over 5,000 job opportunities for Ugandans working in Saudi Arabia. And right now, that brings us to the end of our story analysis. And after the break, we're heading to Dubai now. We're going to check out how is the Dubai Expo, what is the feel, and what are the key highlights. Keep it SMB.